Hi everyone. In this video we're going to be going over how to choose a course of study. Now this is sort of a two-part question. On one hand, it is a search for a subject. If you're not sure what subject you want to study, this is going to help you try to um, find that subject. But it's also about finding how to learn that subject. There's so many universities out there and so many course offerings that you get to choose how you learn that subject. So say, for example, I want to learn physics. Well, some courses are going to be very hands-on physics and experimental, and some are going to be very theoretical. And you want to keep that in mind as you're looking through all of these resources and trying to find the best fit for you. So how do we do that? Just how do we do that? Um, Well, first of all, your decision as far as course of study uh, can drive your university search. In other words, if you know that you want to study physics, um, maybe you're going to be looking at universities that are very strong in physics. On the other hand, you might have found a few universities, and within those universities, then you're going to start looking for courses that you are most interested in. Either way is fine. It's really up to you, and it really these decisions again. I've said this many times. It starts and ends with you. You you really have to make this decision. Listen to all those voices around you, your parents, your counselors, friends, family, but really ultimately the decision is yours. Now, keep in mind, a good fit course at a bad fit university is not ideal. You need to find a balance between your academic and your social um, experiences there. So, um, just like just like if you went to a good university, or sorry, a good fit university for you, but the course didn't fit you, again, not ideal. So do try to find a balance, and that's where your research is going to be coming into play. And that's why we want you to look. That's why our tutorial program is really based on finding the right country, the right course, and the right university for you. These are all very important. They all play together. It's a bit of a synergy there. So, what do you most enjoy? Uh, when we're looking at courses, this is academics, okay? So we're not talking about what you enjoy doing on the weekends or what your favorite sports are. We're talking about what are your favorite subjects. And a lot of this is going to be driven by your IB choices, your IB higher levels. Um, Obviously, your higher level should reflect your interest level. So there's a lot of decision. There's a lot of this decision that's sort of already made. Um, you also need to look at this process as a way of taking stock of your own strengths and your own interests. Um, we'll sort of get back to that in a second in the next slide here. But one little thing I wanted to mention here is keep your mind open. There's a lot of courses that might lead you to interesting careers. Things like astrobiologist and technology forecaster. I have a very good friend in Germany who's a technology forecaster, and he loves his job. So keep your mind open. It's not always the architect, engineer, doctor path that's a good fit for you. One last caveat here is that not all of you have to decide. Um, there are universities, there are entire countries that don't require you to come in knowing exactly what you want to study. So, if you are unsure and you really don't know what you want to study, you're not at any disadvantage. It might limit your options, but don't feel like you're doing anything wrong because you don't know what you want to do for the rest of your life. That's totally okay. Okay, so things to consider. We always tell students, this is part of your university research as well. We want you to have a reach, a secure, and an insurance, or a reach, a good fit, and a backup. Everybody has different names for it here. Um, but we do want there to be about a 5-point range between your reach and your backup schools. Um, just because when it comes to the admissions process, there's a lot that is not as clear cut as we'd like. Also, you don't know how you're going to do on your IB exams, so make sure that you've got a wide range to just in case. Some courses will require you to take an admissions test, things like the BMAT, UKCAT, SAT, those things. Um, just you have to do the research. You should find that stuff. It's all very clear in the material that you're going to be looking at, but do look for that stuff. And that should be in your research, university research table anyway. Think about work experience. A lot of the professional degrees will want you to have some work experience, and degrees like sandwich courses are a great way of getting that. There's co-ops and there's internships and there's lots of work experience out there. If that's something for you, look into it, consider it. That's definitely built into a lot of courses out there. Another source of information that might be interesting for you is there's an informal course ranking online called Rate My Professor. I'm not sure if that's officially the name, but there are Rate My Professor websites in a couple different countries. They can be good, they can be questionable. Think about who writes in. Usually either ecstatic overachievers or disgruntled disgruntled students who are a bit upset and want to just vent. So take that with a grain of salt. Also consider how you're assessed. Some students like to be like projects, some like exams. This is pretty normal. And your learning preferences. Of course, this is all about what I was talking about earlier, taking stock of who you are and how you learn. Just consider all of those things. Now, where do we find all this information? Best source is going to be the internet, of course. University websites, tons of information on there. Application clearinghouse websites, that's going to be things like UCAS. They are excellent sources of information. We'll check that out in a second here. Email specific departments directly. They're the ones you're applying to in some countries, not all countries. Some countries you're applying to the admissions office. In some countries you're applying specifically to a department. So that's also part of your research, is knowing which one is which. We generally know, your counselor will generally know, mostly because it does run by country usually. We have a lot of resources here in our office, so please come down and see us. Tons of books. By all means, please use those. We have university representatives who come and visit us. Come see them. We have education centers in Bangkok. Go see them. We have books here. We'll get to this in a second. That rank courses. Now that can be very helpful. Now those books don't tend to have a lot of information about the specific course and how it's taught at specific universities, but it does give you a gauge as to whether or not that's a good course or a mediocre course or kind of a less desirable course. Please, please keep your expectations realistic. If you come to me and ask me what the entry requirements are for political science at Duke, I cannot tell you that. I just don't know, because they have hundreds, if not thousands, of courses at Duke, and Duke is one of just under 4,000 universities in America, and America is just one of many, many, many countries that our students apply to. So you can see where I'm going with this. It's just impossible for us to know everything. It's your responsibility to go out and explore, record, research. This is all your responsibility. We're going to support you along the way and give you advice, but specifics like that it's just impossible. All right, so here's some of the books that we have in our office. These are great. Okay, so you can see this here now. that is one for the UK. This is a good one for rating courses. The Good Universities Guide as well, very good at rating courses in Australia. Here we have some brochures and pamphlets from specific universities. There's going to be a lot of information in there. Up here we've got ranking. This is more information about general information about U.S. universities. It's not about courses. You're not going to find specific course information in there. They may give you a highlight of what's best there and what's the worst, but nothing specific. No specific details about the contents of the course. And then here we have a sample course catalog that we'll be getting to in a second. Okay, so course catalogs. This is specifically this is Vanderbilt University in the U.S., but there are course catalogs, and this is, of course, this is in our office, but it's not, but it's online as well. So we're going to take a look at this real quick. Now, what I want you to do is hit pause on this video, and I want you to read a little bit of this. There's some good information in there. We're going to do another slide here. Again, please hit pause and just read some of this. This gives you a pretty clear understanding of the structure of the course and what kind of classes you're going to be taking. Now, you don't know what these mean, which means that we had to find out what these classes are. Again, please hit pause and check out some of this text. Obviously, more information about the course. Now, on to specific classes. Again, please hit pause and just check out. Look at the descriptions of some of these classes. So, now you know what you'd be getting into if you wanted to study political science at Vanderbilt University. These are just snapshots of a much larger body of material here. There's a lot of information there that you'd have to go through. I'm going to skip through this next one. I've got another one from Williams. You're more than welcome to pause it here and check out some of this. There's another page. I think this is the last one. This is the structure of economics at Williams College. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to go to UCAS, and we're going to look at how to use UCAS. We're going to do a course search. So we're going to look for international students, and we're going to search by subject. And say I want to study physics. I find physics under P. I scroll down to physics. I just want to study physics in and of itself. So I'm going to go just physics on its own as a single subject. Okay, here we are. We're on UCAS course search, and we've looked for physics. And here are all the universities who offer physics. Okay, so let's look at University of Exeter. Here we have a 3-year full-time honors bachelor's degree of science. Click on physics, and you can look at the entry profile. There's a lot of information available here, and so please, I want you to search. I want you to look at what is available here. As far as the entry requirements, here we go. IB, there we go. Acceptable on its own. Combination of other qualifications. 36 to 32, including 5 points each for mathematics and physics at higher level. There we go. Another example, except in Australia, is the University of Newcastle Faculty of Business and Law. We're going to go undergraduate business. All of this stuff is pretty easy to find on Google. This is a specific website for a university, and UCAS is more of a general one. So I want to do marketing. Look, I get a page full of information about this course. So there's lots of resources online. I've given you lots of online resources. There's lots of resources in the office. It's really just a matter of you getting out there, reading as much as you can, knowing who you are and what you want, and finding the right fit. Thanks a lot.